Hey guys, welcome back to B&B Farms, where our goal is to try and live with our land and not just on it. We are working on some equipment today. You can probably see our brand new flail mower here behind me. And if you watch that intro clip, then you notice that our Harbor Freight quick hitch will not hook to this new Betstco Flail mower. As a matter of fact, we have 4 implements that I normally use on the LS XG3140H tractor here. And of those 4, absolutely 0 will hook to the new Harbor Freight quick hitch. So that's our project for today. We're not going to get it all finished up. We're going to start. This is probably going to be a multi-part series, but I think we're going to work on the flail mower first, since it is the one that will require the most modification to make it fit this quick hitch. So let me turn you around here and I'll show you what we got going on. All right, if you have done any research on Harbor Freight quick hitches, which is this thing right here, the internet is chock full of stories about how they won't fit, and you know, for good reason. I knew that this flail mower wasn't going to fit this quick hitch when I bought it. It's not a deal breaker for me, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't like it to fit. So that's what I want to try and do is you know, adapt this flail mower to this quick hitch. The problem is, as you probably saw in the intro, is this hook will not slide underneath here and clear this pin. So yeah, we've got to come up with a way to make that pin drop in this notch on this arm. Quick little rundown. This is a Category 2 quick hitch, and this is a Category 1 implement. All of our implements are Category 1, which means they use a 7/8 lift pin, but the notch in the Harbor Freight is a Category 2, which is 1 1/8. And you can see when I put that pin in there, yeah, it's loose. So as part of this project, not only are we going to adapt it to this quick hitch, but we're going to change it over to a Category 2 pin so that it fits in there a little better. Let me show you what I got in mind. First things first, let's measure this Harbor Freight quick hitch and see how wide it is. It is about 29 1/8. That's going to make it about center to center. Let's call it 28 inches, center to center of those hooks. If we go over to the flail mower and measure in here, put my thumb at 28 inches. Guess what? Yeah, that doesn't fit in these pockets anywhere here at all. As a matter of fact, these pockets are 28 inches outside to outside. So there is no way that quick hitch is going to fit in there. So we've got quite a bit of fabrication to do. My first idea was to use the existing, I'm going to call these pockets, these existing hitch pockets, and build boxes that came out, maybe put some tubing along here and add another hook out here for the quick hitch to get a hold of. I think that would have worked just fine. The problem is I keep getting further away from the tractor. The quick hitch is going to add, oh, I don't know, probably 5 inches to the drive shaft length. And if I keep bumping this out, I'm going to add 2 or 3 more, and my drive shaft's going to get short sooner or later. So my second idea was to drill new holes. You can see that these 7/8 pins are right here. There's plenty of meat. What if we put this hole up there for an 1 1/8 pin? That would let that hook slide in, but we're still not going to be able to get in between these 2 spring pockets, or these 2 hitch pockets. So here's what we're going to do. Get my tape measure. I'm going to put one of that quick hitch arms in the hitch pocket like it's supposed to, and the other, remember this was 28 inches, it's going to come outside of this hitch pocket and fit on the outside. And I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. We're going to reinforce these a little bit. We're going to bring our new hitch point outside, because if you'll look, this is an offset flail mower. See how that A-frame is off to one side? So that's kind of how that works, and I want to keep that offset. This is very helpful for mowing on my dams. So we're going to drill some new holes, and we're going to redesign this. I know what you're thinking. You said this was a brand new flail mower, and it is. What about my warranty? Well, that's kept me from doing this for about 3 months now, is the fact that this has a 1-year warranty. It is under warranty, and what's going to happen if I start cutting it up and drilling holes in it? But you know what? I'm never going to send that flail mower back, even if something does go wrong with it under warranty. I'm just going to fix it. You know, that's what you do out on the farm. If something goes wrong, you just fix it. So I'm not going to worry too much about the warranty, and I'm just going to make this hitch do what I want it to do, or make this implement do what I want it to do. Let's get started. I think the first thing we need to do is get some room to work. Let's get this tower taken off of here for the top link. Before we do that, I want to point out something. I don't know if this will show up or not. You guys see how there's like a mostly straight vertical edge right here on the leading edge of that top link connection, while over on this it's more angled? I think if we flip that 180 degrees, we might gain a little more room, which we're going to need when it comes time to work on the top link connection. All right, let's get some of this stuff out of the way. I had those loose earlier. This shouldn't be too bad of a job. There we go. I think we ought to pull that drive shaft off too, that PTO shaft. Ugh. Okay, we've got everything off of the flail mower that's going to be on our way. It's time to start marking some holes for those new pin locations, those 1 1/8" pin locations. To me, this is the most critical part of this, is getting those holes lined up and, you know, true to one another. I'll show you how we're going to do that. I've just made a jig, a real simple jig. It's going to use the existing 7/8" pin hole and another bolt hole up here in the bracket, and then it's got a bushing I welded in it to guide the drill bit, and I will show you what that's going to look like once we get it on. All right, so we'll take our gauge, we'll put it in, and we'll center it off of the existing pin hole. We'll tighten it up. Right like that. That pin's still loose. Off of there. Now we should be able to just take our drill and come into that bushing we welded in, and it will guide that bit and make a dimple on this bracket where we need to drill. Let's find out if it works. That should be enough. Yeah, sure enough. Let me bring you in here. You guys see that hole? That's where the new 1 1/8" hole for our new pin will be. Okay, we should be able to take that jig and move it through the other three brackets here on this flail mower, and that should let all of our holes that we're going to drill be in alignment with one another. Should being the key word here. Remember, all we're doing is just putting a little dimple in it right now. Just to mark it. Perfect. All right. That actually worked out real well. You can see the dimple here. You can probably see it right down on this one, right there. And there's one in this one right here also. So all that remains now is to bite the bullet and drill some 1 1/8" holes in all 4 of those brackets right there. I know, it's WD-40. It's all I got. Don't hate me too bad. That wasn't bad. There's one. That didn't take long. These hitch pins are powder coated, and they are just the right size. Look at that. Think about that. Let's get the other one done. Goodness, trying to rain, folks. I think we're going to have to take a break. You guys hear that? Man, it is hammering it down out there. We only had one hole left and we could have tested this. Maybe it'll quit in a minute. All right, guys, that brief shower is mostly over. Still sprinkling a little bit. We are losing light. Let's see if we can get this final hole drilled and see if this hitch will hook up or not. All right, got it. That powder coating is so thick on these pins. Wow. Try the other pin in it. Yep. I think we may have to sand down these pins. I'd much rather they not been powder coated. Yeah, it's just, I can see it just scraping that powder coating off. There we go. They're both in there. Let's back up and see if they'll hook onto this Harbor Freight quick hitch. Looks like that's going to work. We'll see if we can latch it. All right. Same thing over here. There it is. All right, guys, I think that's going to do it. We are losing daylight really quick. I'm sorry for the jumbled up mess this video is, but you got to see me drill the hose. You got to see me adapt it. You saw it fit in that Harbor Freight quick hitch. There's a lot more fabrication to do. Come back next week. We'll have part 2 of this and hopefully have it finished up. But I'm well pleased with what we've got so far. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. Guys, before I leave, I want to give a shout out to another YouTuber and my good buddy John over at Butternut Hill Farm. John donated that Harbor Freight quick hitch that you see back on the end of the LS tractor there. He had a couple, had one that he wasn't using. He was gracious enough to let me have it. John, I really appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. Guys, remember what I always say. Get outside and enjoy what's around you, even when it's an occasional cloudburst. Be nice to one another. Check back in next week when we'll have part 2 of this quick hitch / flail mower build. And take care. I'll see you on the next video.